So I want to talk about my favorite topic in the world, which is love. I mean, it's funny that I ended up with this money niche, but honestly, I had to make money a cute guy just so I could have it in my life. So I've been, you know, as a couple and a happy couple. I think we will have been married from our first wedding next month for what? 4 years? Whoa! I think we'll have been together 6 years in August. Hi. And it's just, it's so surprising to me because it still feels so fresh and so romantic and new and, dare I say it, honeymoonish. And I think the familiarity makes me just feel safer. You know, instead of breeding contempt, it brings comfort, it brings safety so that I can trust more. Whoa, what a concept. Trust. I can trust him more. I can feel, I can be more myself. And it's interesting because, you know, we go out with other couples and I see what's happening with friends and relationships that are flourishing and relationships that are parting, fortunately, with, you know, great love and respect. And it's funny because I'm thinking of, you know, 3 relationships, mine included, that have the same scenario. And I'm just noticing how the same kind of conflict can be experienced so differently by different people. So for example, my husband's the extrovert. He is the social butterfly. He goes out almost every night of the week. He's got his spiritual groups and he's got his guys group and he's got, like, you know, studying this and that, and it's all wonderful. It makes him happy. It makes him feel sane. It grows him as a human being. It kind of leaves me behind. Most of these groups I'm really not invited to. And it's not a problem for us because he doesn't feel hurt that I'm not going with him. And I'm really, really, really happy, kind of cocooning and, you know, watching Netflix or something while he goes out and does this thing. And then he'll come back and he'll kiss me and we'll cuddle and we'll have some, you know, couple time. If I want him to take a night off, I'll just say, hey, you know, oh, it's First Friday. Maybe we should go into Bixby Knolls, part of Long Beach, and have a date. And he's game for that. Or if it's something with his childhood friends and their wives, so it really is kind of a wife thing. And he knows that I'm like an introvert and I will complain on social media about the agony of having to put on a bra and go outside. That's me. I will for him. I will for him. And it's okay for us. So it's funny. I'm the introvert. He's the social butterfly. And it really doesn't matter what gender it is. It's like I have 2 girlfriends and they're the extroverts and their husbands are, you know, the cocooners. And that can work and that can also not work. The biggest thing is, and I think this is totally the key to how to be happy in love, is you don't want to change the other person. Wanting to change somebody is not love. And ladies, listen in on this one because it only took me 45 years to figure it out. Falling in love with somebody's potential is not love. It's so insulting to the person who is there in front of you. Because we are, you know, we love a project. We love a project. And we see the best in a guy who isn't actualized. And we see who he could be. And we want to inspire him to be that. And that just makes him feel unloved and drives us crazy. So if the person in front of you is not someone that you would want to be with for the next 20 years, if he didn't change at all, let him go with love. And I'm going to repeat that again. If the person in front of you, the romantic partner in front of you, is not somebody that you would want to stay with for 20 years, if he didn't change at all, release him with love. Nobody's perfect. The game is to find the person whose imperfections are tolerable. Really. And that's a steep order. Not just for you, but for every other human being. So find the imperfections that you can be with. And the great thing is that the thing that, like, for example, made my husband the wrong person for some other women, hallelujah, so that he was available when I came along, are things that I love about him. I love that he is this Renaissance guy with a gazillion interests, not a 9-to-5 guy, and loves to travel, is into all sorts of really weird stuff. Makes him a really good match for me, makes him terrifying or frustrating for somebody who isn't me. And my needy, grabbiness, bottomless pit of affection is something he can handle with kindness, and would be really repulsive to somebody without his, like, I don't know, love for me or generosity of spirit. Yeah, I get it. We all need someone to love. I'm responding to a message that just came in. Yeah, we all need someone to love. So what we do is we start with loving ourselves, which is just the most god-awful, trite, overused thing in the world. And it's so true. Honestly, the most honest and useless thing you can ever say to anybody ever is you should love yourself more. Don't ever say that to anybody, because what we human beings do is we just take that and beat ourselves up with it. Oh my God, I don't even love myself enough. It's just horrible. And yet I think it's universally true. That's kind of the task of having a human body, is to love ourselves and love our flaws, at least have affection for our flaws. And, you know, when it comes to mates, and I didn't meet my guy until I was 45, and my client Catherine didn't meet her guy until she was 57, like 2 weeks after doing my goddess retreat in Bali, she met her guy. So, you know, the right person is worth the wait. And my strategy was to wait until I'm so old that we won't have time to break up. Devin, you know, I gave up on Devin, and I was heartbroken I had given up on finding love, and I was so heartbroken and despairing, and took so many classes and workshops and just did like everything you can possibly do for so long before I met him. And he was worth the wait, because he was special. If I am going to forego 7.5 billion people, actually it's more than that, for just one, why not make him special? Why not hold out for somebody who's different? And so I would just say, and I know that a lot of coaches say give somebody a chance. And if you aren't giving somebody a chance, well, then, you know, adjust for that. My problem was that I was giving everybody a chance who didn't deserve a chance, who was like so screamingly wrong for me. And I would pretend not to know for years what I knew in the first date. And we would always break up for that thing that I knew in the first date. And I like to say that, you know, once I finally made a decision to stop pretending to not know what I knew, saved myself a lot of heartache, also went a really long stretch single. And then when I started dating again, I mean, I just pulled back from dating, and I read hundreds of romance novels. If you want recommendations on romantic vampires, time-traveling Scottish lairds, I'm your girl. Like, I've read them all. And then I came back into the world and started dating humans again. And it was actually less painful, because I had, you know, numbed, or, yeah, I think I had just spent, I think, like 5 years just taking a break, which is a long time when you're in your 40s. And then I came back and I did it differently. And I started to get really good at saying no and not giving people the benefit of the doubt when I could tell on the phone, this isn't my guy. And I saved myself a lot of pain because I used to get stood up a lot on these first dates online dating because I wasn't listening to my gut and I was showing up for people I knew were not my guy. And then I met, by the time I met Devin, I actually had met a bunch of really nice guys, smart guys, charming guys, relationship ready guys. You know, one of them is watching now or was earlier on. Like I really, I met some really good men. And some of them I would have a short-term relationship with because I could actually see like the expiration date above their head. And Devin, I didn't see the expiration date, and I kept waiting. And the expiration date would have been there for other women because things that made him wrong for somebody else made him right for me. Things that make you wrong for that guy or that girl who broke your heart make you right for somebody else. Except certain things that will not make you right for anybody, which is like meanness, drug abuse, irresponsibility, a disaster life. So get your life together, get yourself healthy, you know, really think about what you have to offer to make another human being happy, which brings up something I forgot about, but like early in our dating days, I remember being in the car and my husband said something, boyfriend at the time. I don't even know if he had that title yet, but we were dating. And he said something about how hot women online, and I can't believe he said this to me because it's like so uncool, but it was actually really interesting. He said how like hot women online have these profiles and their profiles don't really have anything to offer. Like they have a pretty photo. I found this really interesting. These hot chicks with the gorgeous bods and the photos, he would read their bio and there was nothing in them that indicated to him that they had anything to offer relationship-wise. Now, maybe it's a special kind of guy who has grown up enough to be looking for that, which is really the only kind of guy you want to have a relationship with. And finding that under 40, I didn't. No, wait, I did. I just wasn't ready. That's, yeah, that full disclosure. Yeah, I did once, but I wasn't ready. Those guys are special and they're rare guys, and you really want to be listening for somebody who has been hurt, learned stuff, and is looking for a real relationship. And the good news is it gets easier as we get older. Dating as a young woman is like the 7th level of hell because you're just attracting people who see you as meat. And of course, there are exceptions. There are exceptions, and I know people who got married at that age who are really happy. But my experience was, never again. There's a reason I was single, and because I just didn't know myself well enough to have healthy boundaries and say no. And I just found it was so much easier to meet grown-ups when I got older. So anyway, how to be rich in love. Well, I think many of you know that I used my own alchemy process that I used on slaying my money monster to slay my love monster, and met my husband 2 months later. So take a look at where we protect ourselves from love, because we've all been hurt, right? And really hold out for somebody that you can love as is, and it may not be what you expect. My husband has a couple of things that were on my deal breaker list. He had a kid, and he has, what do I call it, a condition that he has managed for close to 20 years that I was really looking to avoid. But his response to it for the last 20 years makes him a better man, makes him somebody I can trust. His daughter, I wasn't looking for somebody who had a kid. I didn't want to share. I didn't know what I would get with the kid. His daughter is awesome. And I think his daughter made him a better person. His love and devotion to her makes him a better person, made him somebody that I could trust. So know what you need. And one of my coach friends, one of my relationship coach friends said this, and I just like, engrave it on your heart. It's so brilliant. I don't remember who said it, but look for character, not characteristics. The love of your life may be an inch shorter than you thought. The love of your life may not have the kind of job or the kind of car that you thought you needed. The love of your life, just look for, I would say, someone who admires you. That it's like a mutual admiration contest, that you just both feel like you got the better end of the deal, that mutual admiration society, someone who makes you laugh, someone who cares about how you feel, somebody who inspires you to be a better person and to be more loving. And I think another one of my relationship coach friends said something interesting, which is the guy should always do 51%. What? But I think Devin really does. Don't tell him I told you so. Shh. This is just between you and me. Total secret. But I do think that he does a little bit more in the relationship than I do, even though I do a lot. And he would totally agree if you asked, by the way. But yeah, a guy friend of mine said that you need a relationship where the guy does 51%, not 70%, 51%, just a tiny bit more, because a guy needs to do that to stay interested. But don't play games. Don't be a jerk. Be totally generous of spirit. Bathe, if you like guys, I would just say bathe him in appreciation and admiration, because men need that. And it feels good to give that to somebody who deserves that. And if you don't feel he deserves that, unless it's like just one of those blip middle of the night crazy moments. What was I thinking? He's not a Democrat. What was I thinking? How could I have done this? That's like the biggest conflict that I've ever had with Devin, was over politics. Like, anybody who knows me would not be surprised. But, coming back to what I said at the beginning, look at the person in front of you. He's not changing. And if you can't love what he is now, you don't love him. Loving what somebody could be, loving somebody's potential is great, especially if you're a coach, professionally and all that kind of stuff. But loving potential is not loving who is there. So just put yourself in that place. Can you live with this person's income or lack of income? This person's, fitness or lack of fitness? This person's nighttime activities or lack of nighttime activities? Can you live with this for 20 years and still love this person and be happy? Even if it's not everything you wanted, is it enough to be deeply, deeply happy? And if you can say yes, then I would say do whatever you need to do to be a great relationship partner and to serve this person's happiness without sacrificing your own, which is kind of a dance, especially for us women. Don't lose yourself. That's like, a totally different conversation. But really care, and pay attention to how he treats and loves you. Like, I had a super whopper crush on somebody a year before I met Devin, and I thought we were both on board. I blurted out, "I love you," because I had no doubt in my mind that he was crazy about me and loved me. No, he didn't. And he didn't know if he ever would be able to love me. And that was all I needed to know. All I needed to know. To never speak again to this guy that I was gaga about. Because I'm not willing to wait 20 years to find out if somebody can manage to love me. And I think that's a really good litmus test. So be rich in love. Don't settle for what you don't want, because then you have no room for what you do want, and you're telling the universe that this is good enough when it's not. Be honest with yourself. Be courageous. Hold out for as long as you need to hold out, and be the person that your person would want to be with. And those are my tips. Love to all of you as I'm, oh wait, why am I okay, so this was shot on my phone, so I'm going to figure out how to end it. There we go. Okay, namaste for now until I feel so inspired again. Bye.